Hey everyone, Sean and Moo. We're gonna get Moo and me to heave and chuck this sledgehammer, it's a 6-pound sledgehammer, down there. So you guys need to understand why upright swings, not flat swings, get to benefit from ground forces.
Right.
You don't wanna miss this one. So Moo,
Yeah.
presenting the sledgehammer.
All right.
You're going to let the sledgehammer hang under your shoulders.
Yep.
And very important that you be forward enough that the sledgehammer is not going to hit you in the ankles or the toes, right?
Yeah. Don't want
So
that.
now you're just forward enough that it can swing in front of you.
Yeah.
Now if you wanted to take that and on a count of three swings,
Yeah.
you're going to heave it downrange in the direction that you're lined up on, which is basically parallel to this tee here, right?
Yeah.
So let's see you do that.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Woohoo!
Awesome.
Yeah.
Make sure there's nobody around when that happens. Now, if you look at the continuation, when Moo is going back, the hammer is moving on a much more vertical plane. And if you get to the top here and the hammer starts to fall behind you,
Yeah.
there's no way you can return it and send it out there, can you?
No.
Right?
Yeah.
So if, let's say you take a driver in your hands,
Okay.
and the other thing I wanted to mention is, notice the only way to heave the hammer out there, you can't use the arms. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So the arms are just hanging on to the hammer, and notice the squat of the legs sending the hammer out there.
Yeah.
So if you were to take your setup with the driver,
Yeah.
let's say we're going to send the tip of that tee in the direction that you want to go.
Yeah.
So let me see the top of your backswing and stop. So now look where Moo's arms are. They're in a position that are going to be allowed to come back under Moo through the tee and out there. So when the arms fall, the legs are basically falling with them. Do you feel that squat, Moo?
Yeah.
So you're getting ready to use the legs to send the tip of the tee out into the wild blue yonder, right?
Yeah.
So let's see a couple of practice swings beside that.
Okay.
Pretend you're sending the tee out there.
Okay.
Wow. That was amazing. Did you guys hear the tip of the tee being clipped?
Yeah.
So Moo gets to the top. The brain is preparing to take the tip of the tee and sling it out into that wild blue yonder. So
Yeah.
you notice that the timing
Yeah.
of what he just did was exactly the same as the timing as he used to heave that sledgehammer out there.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So if we look at from face on, I'm going to show you face on and down the line now for the righty, just so you get the clear mental picture of what we're trying to do. And you'll see how important this is for you to acquire the proper skill set to use the ground to get that effortless power so that you can send it out there. And you know, Moo and Sav are now competing in long drive competitions. I'm sure that a couple of years ago you couldn't even dream
No.
of competing next to who did you compete? Was it
Ryan Riesbeck.
Ryan Riesbeck was up with you, and what about
Justin James.
you were right there in front of Justin James,
Yeah.
going neck and neck,
Yeah.
and they were hitting the same distance,
Yeah.
right? They were all between 340 and 380.
Yeah.
So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
And if you looked at Moo out there on the grid, he's one of the most consistent guys out there. He's hitting 4 out of 6 in the grid on a consistent basis. So you really want to, sink your teeth into what we're talking about here. Now, as a righty, if I do it face on, and I'm just going to swing back and through, heave it into the trees, heave it into the trees. Now you notice there's a heaving action that occurs both in the backswing and in the follow through. It's a dual kinetic chain. So in order for me to heave it out there, I gotta heave it into the backswing. Notice how I'm using my legs. Heave, heave. And it's such a cool way to acquire that skill because the weight of that sledgehammer is so easy to feel. So I would go with 4-pound sledge for the gals. 6-pound sledge is plenty because at the end of a nice long neck like this, that sledgehammer really feels heavy. And you notice how I'm not allowing the arms to fold, because if you let those arms fold and you perform a regular swing, it's really going to take you for a loop. There could be way too much downward snap, and that's going to really hurt. So you keep the arms nice and long, and you notice the only way to keep the arms long is by turning out of the way, out of the way. So you see the rhythm and timing of that. Ready to swing back under, swing back under, swing back under. There's only one way to do that. If I bring the hammer here, it's all over. If I try to get ground forces, I'm breaking a leg. So, 1 out there, 2 out there, 3 out there. Not as long as yours, Moo. But you really see there's the only way to do that is through the legs. You can't push with the arms. So if we go with the driver again, the only way that I come back through that ball, if I try to send my arms deep into the backswing, is this okay here, Sav? So when I go into my backswing, heave. See where my arms are? Now it feels like when I go get the ground, my arms are falling in front of me and through the ball. If I take my arms too deep behind me and I try to use the ground forces, it's going to be impossible. I'm going to lose my posture, the club's falling behind me. It's going to be, you know, in the movies when you see a helicopter kind of tip over and the thing is kind of spraying all over the place? That's essentially what it's going to look like. So we got to keep the arm club unit out in front of us to really benefit from those ground forces. And that's how it's done right there. Hope you enjoyed that and understood the concept and the principles behind it. Get yourself a sledgehammer and let's see you heave it in your backyard. Just watch your wife's flower pots. All right, all the best.